Well, I'm coming down to the end of the siding operation. It's been about 3 months of anytime I get good weather out here picking away at it, slowly but surely. This backsides, I knew it was gonna be a little bit of a challenge, but I think that other side over there is actually probably harder. It's just the terrain over there was so sloped and irregular, and every time you set the ladder up, it was a pain to get it level. This back here is kind of level, and it's not too bad to get the ladders rearranged, but you can kind of see the method I'm using here of having on that very far end, which is the hardest to deal with on the ladders, with the scaffolding, so I can kind of work that corner, and then in the middle here, working with 3 different ladders, just kind of constantly moving them. You know, you can usually get a nail or two, move it, come back down, move it again. And then over here on this end, just rolled this piece out and I can stand on it and reach to the top. But you know, a lot of little things slow you down, like that receptacle box, that light mount, the gutter to try to remount, and I think I might have showed how to do that before, or how I'm doing that. But and of course across the top, it's a little bit tricky to put that utility trim in and shove it up in there, and it's really good having scaffolding for that instead of trying to do that off a ladder. But I'm hoping today to get done to that corner, over a little bit, tied into here, and then that last peak area I'm gonna need some help on, because I gotta kind of constantly move this scaffolding. I have to put another buck on it. It'll end up having 4 or 3 yellows and maybe a red to get to that top. And I don't know how I'm gonna do it exactly. I don't know if I'm gonna kind of keep moving it back and forth, maybe set it up in the middle and have ladders on each side. But it's gonna be another afternoon probably done with that last peak. But thinking about another 6 hours a day, I'll have it again kind of to the bottom of the, whatever you want to call it, the peak, I guess. And once that's done, completely done with the outside. Walk over here and show you what we did last week. Side here is all done. Again, it's kind of the same deal, scaffolding on this side. And what I found was that what I had planned on doing was just using that scaffolding on the corner and then working the rest with a ladder. But ultimately what I found was it's almost impossible to put that top piece in with a ladder, because you know, you don't nail it, you just shove it up in there, and it's real hard to get it worked up in that utility trim, especially when it's like, I usually put them in 6 or 8 foot sections, and working off a ladder, trying to reach over to one side, shove it up in there, reach on the other, it's just not practical. So what we ended up doing is getting everything done except that last strip, slowly working that scaffolding this way all the way to the end. And the last piece, I put a little 3 foot, like you can see it on video, a little 3 foot section off the ladder, just shoved it up in there and finished this side up. So I was glad to get that done. And yeah, I had these electrical boxes to work around. They turned out okay. I mean, it doesn't look perfect if you get up right next to it, but good enough for this backside. We don't even come back here too much for anything, but fairly straight and level as it goes. Actually, as I came to the top, as I was shoving it up in that utility trim, it was about plus or minus 1/8 of an inch all the way across. So by the time you start at the bottom and work your way up, and you know, the siding kind of, you can shove it up higher or let it hang a little loose, you know, the whole way it is only 1/8 off, maybe 1/4 max. So I was happy with that. You know, it could get done, and the backside has it 2 inches higher, and you kind of notice it as you look at that top strip, it gets thinner, but ended up working out good. I think this other side over here, I'm off a little bit, maybe 1/2 inch, but I don't think you'll notice that either. But anyway, it's been quite a job getting all this done, and I really don't remember last time I did an update on it. I guess I could walk around this way and show you this side in case I haven't done it. Maybe I did one on this, but we got this side done. Wasn't too bad. Again, worked off scaffolding. It's kind of flat back here. Of course, got this side done a while back. So overall, pretty happy with it. Definitely learned a lot as I went, and would have changed some things from the beginning if I did it again, but that's the way it goes. So anyway, I'll maybe do another quick update when it's done. All right, down to the last piece, the entire siding job. Way up here on some scaffolding. Feels way higher in person than it probably looks on video, but my assistant down there. So we got 3 bucks going. But anyway, we've learned our lesson the first time with this. How this works is you get to this top, there's nothing to nail it to. And I haven't shoved this in there and make sure it's going to fit yet. I'm assuming it will. But in this situation, what it relies on is hooking onto this piece. But if that tilts in, then it can just fall out. So, well, I don't know if this is why everybody does it. What I found to do is put a little piece of, I use PVC so it won't rot, but a little chunk of PVC in there to give it something to push up against the back of this. So let's see if it goes. Oh yeah, perfect. And I mean, it's not super stable, but it doesn't have much force on it. I mean, a little bit of wind kick in there behind it, I guess. But again, it's kind of locked in on that bottom strip, as long as that stays out. But again, if it folds in, it just falls right out. So anyway, that's the last piece. I'll take some pictures of it. Whole side. I get down here and get the scaffolding put away. Yeah, there's the final product. Quite the contrast with that white door on this back side, but I think I mentioned this before, that that's going to be sort of an outdoor theater, set around the fire, put a projector on it. So it made sense to be just white and flat texture. But I'll probably paint that door a little bit lighter, or I might leave it that same shade, because you really can't match it up against, from this angle, against anything on the house over there. On the front, it's a little different story. The garage door is sandstone. I'm going to paint the man door to match here at some point. But overall, pretty happy with the color and how it all turned out. I think it's pretty level and not too warpy or anything. Again, I took my time trying to get everything nice and square as I went. I was curious, at some point I kind of gave up putting a level on it. I just kind of, it is what it is at this point. There's nothing else to meet up with, and there's no doors or anything. You don't really notice, by the time you come all the way over here, you don't notice if it lines up the same on that side. So I just kind of quick herring and just started pulling the siding up, nailing it, putting the next piece, nailing it. Instead of at the bottom, what I was doing was taking a level on every piece and trying to get it nice and level all the way to the top. But anyway, again, I kind of gave up on that. But I was out of curiosity, I put a level on the very top piece to see where I ended up, and it was almost perfect. So I guess just kind of a little bit of luck. And also, I mean, it can't go too far because it locks into the one below it. So anyway, completely done with all that, other than I got to put the lights, receptacles on it and stuff like that. But siding itself is 100% done. So glad to get past all that and be able to focus on the inside now.